right, guys, welcome back to another video. So tomorrow is the day that people are expecting Microsoft and Xbox to close the deal. It is the deal deadline, but it looks like they aren't going to actually be closing the deal by July 18th. There was a lot of speculation that Microsoft was going to go over the CMA and close this deal even without the CMA and UK's approval, but there were lots of stuff that happened today. Talks that went on between the CMA and Microsoft in front of the CAT, the tribunal, the appeals tribunal in the UK, and they have decided as of right now that they most likely aren't going to be closing tomorrow and try to get an extension on the final deadline. Now, this doesn't mean really too much other than there's a slight delay and the deal is still going to be going through. We have this article here from Bloomberg saying that the Microsoft and Activision Blizzard are nearing the finish line for their $69 billion deal, but aren't likely to close it by the Tuesday deadline. And this comes via people familiar with the deal. They say the companies don't plan to walk away from the deal and will continue seeking the final regulatory approval needed for closing. And they also say here that an April order from the UK regulators bars the companies from closing the deal, even if it has now received government approvals in 39 countries. And a violation of the UK order would lead to fines of up to 5% of the company's combined global revenue. So obviously they don't want to have to deal with those fines. They don't want to deal with the stuff. For Microsoft's, their side of things, it'll just be so much better if they're able to close with approvals everywhere in the world, specifically with one of the bigger regulators for this deal, which is the UK and the CMA. So they're going to go ahead and try to extend the final deadline for getting this deal closed. Now, one thing that they have been doing, they have been in talks with the CMA and they have been trying to come to a resolution for this thing. And one of the things that people believe is going to get this deal passed within the UK is going to be divestitures of cloud or renegotiation on the actual cloud side of the Xbox Activision Blizzard acquisition. We recently just saw PlayStation sign that 10-year deal for Call of Duty, and it was a worse deal overall than they were originally offered, because they originally were offered all of the Activision Blizzard catalog. But Jim Ryan didn't want to sign that deal, wanted to just block the deal, and now ends up on the short end of the stick with only a deal for Call of Duty. So who knows what's going to happen with those other Activision Blizzard games, but that seemingly is going to be a catalyst for this CMA to actually come to a resolution with Microsoft and get this deal approved. But with all of that being said, they have actually gotten the okay here to put the deal or the appeal on hold. It says here on Monday, the CAT agreed to halt the appeal process in order for Microsoft and the CMA to discuss a new structure for the acquisition. Now, this reportedly includes Microsoft selling cloud gaming rights for Activision titles in the UK to another company. And as long as the parties are able to submit evidence by July 20th to back up their claims of reaching a deal. So they have to still submit evidence that they are going to be reaching some sort of deal here, but it looks like the appeals process will be put on hold. And it will be very interesting to see what cloud gaming changes they're going to give up here in the UK specifically, how this will affect the gamers in the UK. I think from our perspective here, following this stuff, you guys watching these updates and these videos, is how is it going to affect you if you're a gamer in the UK in terms of getting access to the Activision Blizzard catalog via the Xbox ecosystem? We don't know what Microsoft will be submitting here and what the CMA will want to accept, but it does seem like Microsoft is really willing to do a lot of stuff here just to get this thing approved and closed in all the countries at the same time, not actually have to close over the CMA. It looks like that will not be happening. Now, when it comes to the cases against Microsoft, we've seen the FTC take all of their losses. We've seen the gamers lawsuit fail multiple times, but the gamers lawsuit is seemingly not giving up. They have actually appealed here to the Supreme Court and trying to get this case looked at by the Supreme Court. We have this tweet here and it says, on Friday, the Ninth Circuit of Appeals denied the request by the plaintiffs in the so-called gamers suit to get an injunction to block the Activision Microsoft deal, and they are now appealing this ruling to the Supreme Court, which will most likely end up with not even the case being looked at. We do have Hogue Law here saying, what folks will quickly learn is that there is no inherent right to have your case heard by the Supreme Court. They pick their own cases, and if yours doesn't present a novel or important issue, well, they're not going to pick it. And the reality is here, there's probably zero chance here that they're actually going to pick this case up to look at it. And if they did, they would probably instantly lose. I mean, the FTC lost. What makes them believe that as the gamers suit, they're going to have a chance of winning in any sort of case against this Activision Blizzard acquisition by Microsoft? A lot of people just want to do whatever they can to try to stop this deal. The deal is going to go through. It's just now a matter of time, I guess, waiting as to what is going to be happening with the CMA, what Xbox, Microsoft are going to be giving up to appease the UK regulators before this entire thing is closed. And we'll see what the extension is in terms of the final date for them to actually have to close this deal. As again, this all will come down to what has Microsoft submitted to the CMA? What is their remedies that they're willing to do? And are they going to be selling off any parts of their businesses, specifically in cloud gaming? Or is the PlayStation deal something that is actually big enough to have the CMA be okay with this deal going through, and whatever is the fine print within that deal? That'll be interesting to see going forward, but we will definitely keep you guys updated. I'll leave the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you are new, hit the subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. We'll be right back.